Hey team, Coach Paul Preston here, and this is English Coach. Today I want to talk about anxiety. Maybe you've heard of this before. You probably know it very well. We all do. Anxiety is that reaction that your body has when you feel stress. It becomes a kind of fear or apprehension. You're scared to do something. Anxiety is a huge problem when you study a second or third language, when you try to communicate in that language. Well, you know the feeling. Maybe you're listening to two people speak your second language, and they're speaking to each other, and you can understand most of what they say. And then suddenly, one of them turns to you and asks you a question. And boom, you don't understand anything. You can't understand. You can't respond. You don't know what to say. You don't know how to say it. That's anxiety. Probably, if you had remained completely relaxed and calm, you would have continued to understand what was being talked about. But suddenly, when the focus turned to you, you had to do something. Anxiety kicked in, fear kicked in, and suddenly your brain was unable to process the information. That is a big result of anxiety, a panic where your brain is unable to process or even downloads some information. Anxiety will cause you to forget words. So sometimes you'll think, oh, I know that word. I know that word. What is that word? That's anxiety. So anxiety operates many ways when dealing with a second language. The key, well, it's simple. Stay relaxed. But it's not that simple, is it? Of course not. It's really difficult because when we communicate in a second language, we feel the pressure to communicate. We feel the pressure to understand. Maybe our job is at stake, or maybe we don't want to feel bad about ourselves or present ourselves in a bad way. So we try so hard to be perfect. Well, we know by now that being perfect in a second language is impossible. But that doesn't help us fight that anxiety. So, what can you do to fight the anxiety? Well, I have a few suggestions. One suggestion is make a mistake. Make mistakes your goal. I've talked about it before, and I'll talk about it again. I think this is very important for language study. Make mistakes your goal. If you make a mistake, you succeed. This changes the anxiety a little bit because instead of fearing mistakes, you are changing your thinking to make mistakes your goal. That means you will go ahead and answer. And hopefully you'll make a mistake. Well, that's one great way to deal with anxiety. Just try to make mistakes. And there are other ways too. I think the most important one is allow yourself time to get used to a situation. Go slow, be patient with yourself. You can explain to the people you're working with or you're speaking to that you don't understand clearly. Well, that will help a little bit too. That means you have less pressure to respond. So figure out some ways to reduce that pressure to respond. And That'll help you um, lose your fear, lose your apprehension. Of course, there's lifestyle differences you can make as well. Try to get enough sleep. Try to focus, maybe a little meditation or focusing your mind a little bit. Staying calm in very tense situations. Meditation will help you do that. Staying active, exercising, practicing. Think about all the situations that you might go into and practice those situations. But think about it very carefully and think about all the details that may happen. I'm going to talk about that in a future English coach as well. But I think that it's useful to think about what all of the things that might happen in a given situation before you go. And then you're more ready. You're more ready for it. I think that that these are probably the best ways to fight anxiety. Just stay a little focused. Keep that mind calm and meditative. Try to relax. Of course, exercising will help you stay relaxed. Working out, that sort of thing, and enough sleep will calm your brain a little bit. These are all very good. And then just remember that when you're in the situation, try to reduce the pressure on yourself and allow yourself to make mistakes. Those are some of the best ways to deal with anxiety. Remember, when you speak a second language, you don't have to be perfect because you're already doing something more than that maybe native speaker is doing. You're speaking a second language. And if you are speaking to somebody who also speaks a second language, you have a shared experience. You understand each other very well. So use that to your advantage. So that's this week's English Coach on anxiety. Remember, identify that anxiety. Notice it when it comes. It comes from your stress. And then use those tools to try to reduce your anxiety. Oh, one more thing, you'll never really get rid of your anxiety. So don't worry about that. Just try to reduce it and control it. So thank you very much for joining me this week. And hopefully next week I'll have another episode for you of English Coach.